Alright guys, welcome to the next video, so part 2 of Overwatch. So the reason I made part 2 was because the last video was very much about the bugs. Okay, so, and I think that it's really important for you guys to see what it's like to play Overwatch, or me playing Overwatch against the bots, because it is a slightly different game. It's a little bit different tactic, and we're going to look at that today. So let's kick this off right now. I've got my little drawing pen ready and we're going to go through and discuss this. It's probably not going to be as long as the last video, but yeah. So I think you know the fundamentals and I don't need to go through them. Now I just want to point out the difference with the bugs, with the bots. So we're going to start off. So this is part 2 and we're using the spear. I'll throw down an SOS as soon as we get in.
Best of the best.
Okay.
Alright
guys, so immediately I, rather than trying to get my own personal weapons out and stuff like that, I can hear gunfire. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm throwing down my turret. Okay, it's just a simple, I don't know which one I threw. There you go, Gatling Sentry. I threw the Gatling Sentry down to be able to cover the boys. It's also because we have 3 squad members at the moment, and so this turret will act as a 4th member in the beginning. Okay, so let's keep going.
Live up to freedom.
Sending out an SOS!
Alright, so there comes the spear. You'll also notice I haven't got Freya on today. I haven't got Freya on, so I just thought I'd give it a go without Freya. I'm not the best at it.
Southwest, 200 meters. Going down.
Okay, I don't know if you saw that, guys, so I'm going to hit back 10 seconds so you watch it, but this is what I was talking about, where, I mean, yes, I'm getting a hit registry, so this is something from part 1. So yes, I'm getting like a hit registry here, but you can see the rounds of the Gatling Sentry bouncing off this wreck. So watch now. And this is what I was trying to explain last time about it hitting the rock, but this is a really good example.
Tagging map, southwest, 200
Okay, here.
meters. Going down a support weapon.
Alright, so, and now we're up. Guys, get ready for dropship. So I just said then, guys, get ready for dropship. And I want to give you guys like a quick sort of like look at other roles that have been sort of like slowly designed in Helldivers here. And it's called the shot caller. And it's only for when you're fighting against the automatons. And I'm going to give you a quick demonstration of it first. So I just want to explain a bit first. So what it is that as the shot caller, it's your job to keep an eye out for flares that go up. And as the flare goes up, it's your job to just tell the guys in the team who have like dumbfire rockets. So whether it's this, like the disposables, or if it's a recoilless rifle, it's your job to tell them what I was about to say. So let's just listen to that real quick.
Allied destroyer joining squadron, deploying Helldivers.
Let me just go back so you can hear it. So I obviously see this. I see this. Get ready for dropships.
Allied destroyer joining squadron.
And then I say, watch out for dropships. Okay, and I steal that guy's launcher. And then I drop this ship. Okay, and then I pick up my spear again. because I am playing in completely public squad, so these are not my friends. I wouldn't have to say that if that was the normal people that I play with. So I'm playing with complete randoms right here, and so I am trying to like give them a tiny bit of coaching so that we don't end up continuously getting overwhelmed. So let's continue on. So you can still see that my original Gatling gun was still going up until that point. It just stopped then. And you can't see, but throwing down another sentry. As soon as I know that my Gatling is down, I've got a new one coming in. Okay, so what we're trying to do is we're just force multiplying now. And the thing is, I'm not, and I'm gonna say this, but like, I know that if you're watching this, you know that like on the bot side, one of the most important things to be doing, and this is why, like, while Overwatch is a good role to play in a squad, the most important role on the bot side is not Overwatch, it's shot caller. So what you saw happen then, and I know that you know this, but I'm going to say it anyway, is that because the more dropships that you kill, the less overwhelmed you're going to get. And also, if you're just wondering, this is level 7 difficulty, I think. I'm tired of the increased patrol spawns at the moment, so I've dropped down to this level because when you play public, this seems to be the most enjoyable difficulty right now. So when I'm playing with the guys, I bump it up, but public squads, this is it. Okay, so back to the description. Okay, so straight away, look, I've gone straight back into my Overwatch sort of routine. I've dropped that at height. So this is something that is specifically for the bots, okay? And that is now that we've dropped our turret just here, right? Okay, so it's gonna scan over here and sort of keep you safe, sort of. Again, turrets struggle on the bot side because the bots can just blow them up. But this is where the spear is like the best weapon on this side, is that you can scan for targets of opportunity. And just here we have a factory. And the spear is specifically made for this job, okay? And we can see this now. Let me just get my arrow back there. Okay, done. You don't have to aim. You don't have to try and hit some sort of vent. Done. So this is also something that you'll find when you're playing public, is that people will follow you. Even though you're the backline, people are going to stand in your sort of like position and fight from your position, which means that you and your turrets are constantly under threat for gunfire because you're supposed to be firing from the backline. Again, I'm looking for targets of opportunity, and so I'm moving forward from here. I also know that there's artillery in range here, so we're trying to find it. Okay, so just said it again there. Also, another thing you'll see, I've kind of broken my sort of SOPs here, so standard operating procedures. I'm running with the front line, but it's also because we have artillery, enemy artillery, and nobody is moving forward. So here's another example, okay? Plenty of distance, I have open ground, I don't really have elevation. However, like, it's just me and this guy. Everybody else is behind us. So I'm going to destroy this as a target of opportunity now, even though we're being fired on by artillery.
Reloading!
Another thing as well is that we don't, because I'm in a public squad, there's no one watching for drops. There's nobody who's watching for that flare going up. So, you know, it's always a problem. You're always vulnerable.
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
Ah, I missed it.
Orbital inbound!
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
Calling down a sentry!
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
So one of the boys threw down a rocket sentry there, and look at that. Do you see that? Because there's nobody watching, and especially as well, like, in a way, it's my fault as well, because I'm Overwatch. And I'm on the front line here fighting with the Helldivers because, you know, people are not pushing So I'm pushing. And so in a way, that drop is my fault because I should have been in the rear setting up turrets ready, but I wasn't. So you'll see now. So I'm pretty happy. Somebody's dropped a rocket entry there, and then this happens. And it's like, man, I haven't seen that in like months. And then I basically return to basic Helldiver SOPs, and that is if you're like surrounded, like go to ground for a second and clear, and then run on the reload.
You are in range of enemy artillery.
And also, obviously, if you are, go for cover. So I land in defilade, so my aim was to try and get into defilade, and I made it.
Calling in reinforcements.
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
So that's a good example of why you need to be able to aim quite well with the Dominator. So the Dominator is like so good with its medium armor penetration, but you need to aim. You can see here that I'm aiming for the head, but just sometimes I'm just not good enough to be able to, even though I have great elevation there to be able to shoot him in the head. I don't know, my mouse, maybe my mouse is not, my mouse movement is not the best.
Calling down a
Warning, you are in range of enemy artillery.
Okay guys, so now that the craziness is calming down a bit, and even that wasn't crazy. If I had my mates there, I would not have been worried about that at all. But again, sometimes you don't know what level, your Helldivers are at. So sometimes there can be a weakness in the squad and you can really feel that. But here is another perfect example. I've gone straight back into my Overwatch mentality, and so I have elevation, line of sight, and distance.
requesting sentry. Calling down a sentry.
Okay, so I've obviously dropped my my turrets on both sides, and I have now like this whole area here covered. This is my arcs of fire for my turrets. I'm standing in between them, so the likelihood that they're going to turn inwards on me and shoot me is not a problem. And below we have two factories here and here, and this is a good example of where people think that the spear is broken, but what we have here is that I place my reticle in sort of a little bit off center, and so it tries to lock onto the back one. And like I was saying, you need line of sight, clear line of sight. And so this is a great example of where the spear looks like it's broken, but it's not. It's emulating a real launcher, and you can't lock onto something that's behind that has a heat signature if there's something in front with a heat signature. So here's an example. So and it doesn't help that there's dust everywhere, so there. So I finally lock on the front and I let him out.
Reloading.
And again, you can see it, I knelt for the accuracy buff.
50 meters.
So again, we have a flare,
How'd you like to
and there's nobody really doing anything about it.
Hey boys,
So,
I might need help over here. I got dropship coming in.
yep, so I mentioned it
That
straight away.
dropship on the in the engine. Shoot it in the engine.
That's
Yeah,
called
bro.
democracy. Drop ships southwest.
So a little bit of encouragement, and hopefully they'll get the idea that every time it drops, like, you are going to praise them for dropping a dropship. So hopefully they get the idea. But again, one thing you find when you're dealing with people in public squads is that, you know, every single one of these dropships should be down. Like, they literally should be in the air for about 5 seconds, hovering, and then they should be gone. But the team, there's no dynamic in the team. So again, you're not equipped to be able to do that. So the best you can do then is just fight the drop
Requesting sentry.
squad. I've never actually seen that before. That was the first time I've seen that. I don't know if you saw it, but my reticle went red. So let's watch that again now. I've never seen that. It's the first time I've seen this. There. I've never seen that before, and I actually believe it's because so this rock is closer to you than it is to your target, and just I guess like the code, the game, the engine just went nah. Like this is definitely not gonna lock because you have an obstruction. So that's the first time I've seen it. I can't remember if I've actually told you this as well, but if you ping an enemy, sometimes the lock, the spear will lock onto your enemy quicker and better and smoother. So you don't have lock bounce if you tag it. I can't remember if I told you that in the video.
Bag's empty.
Yeah, GG.
Alright guys, you can see now I from if you've watched the first part of the video, you can see that I've placed down a turret and now I'm moving to a flank to be able to either adjust my fire or put down more turrets, sentries. Okay, I'll spot that. Again, no lock. Lie down, lock.
50 meters.
And I don't know if you saw it, but there was a factory strider that has spawned right next to that tower. I'm just trying to, at the moment, just tag.
Boys, once we cleared up here, we gotta go north.
So you can see straight away that we've got resupply right behind where my firing position is. So I'm feeling pretty confident
Oh,
now
there's a walker there, boys.
to be able to take it out. I don't know why I called it a walker.
Reinforcing.
We're gonna have to take that out.
Bob, south, 100 meters.
Heavy. Northeast. Close.
The most important thing to
Keep
note
hitting it.
is that
maybe.
the fire onto this walker strider, factory strider, it's not really doing much.
Just keep,
all it's doing
covering
is
me,
it's
boys,
just
and we'll just keep
slowly
hitting this thing.
depleting its energy bar, like so, you know, its hit points. So that was an effective hit. I blew up the gun on the top, but you don't always necessarily get that target of opportunity right there. So you may as well just destroy it. And again, because we're in our Overwatch position, we have the upper hand because we have the height, we have the elevation, we have everything.
Oh yeah, boys.
So thank God, like one of the boys were able to drop that in.
Okay, rear. Watch out, rear.
Mission at 30
Air
minutes
sample
remaining.
collected.
Guys, so again, you know, we've moved on. I found a place of elevation, so let's see what I do. So I'm thinking here, I'm going to throw down a turret and probably keep moving because it looks like we're on our way to the objective.
Requesting sentry.
Oh, boys, someone do the mission. I'll try and set up a perimeter.
Okay, no, so we're at the mission. So again, you can see how as soon as we arrived, I've gone onto the elevation. You can see that there's an enemy down here. So I've placed down a turret and let's keep moving. And I believe I'm going to go on to the actual...
Boys, someone do the mission. I'll try and set up a perimeter.
I think I'm actually going to go to the highest part of this sort of like
Dropping a pin. Northwest.
elevation.
100 meters.
Northeast.
Alright, so you can see I've stopped halfway to my elevated position. Again, this is just a public squad thing where like everybody has... I've told everyone that I'm setting up a perimeter. I've told them like, do the mission, I'll set up a perimeter. And then everybody started setting up a perimeter and no one's doing the mission. So the mission is right here. So this is sometimes where you have to take control of the squad.
Marking location.
Someone.
You can also see how I ran towards the objective then, and then I remembered I'm playing Overwatch. These boys are all Helldivers. The minute I go in here and start doing the objective, they're all going to come in and hover around the terminal. People do that. People hover around the terminal. So the best thing for you to do is to not be on the terminal. Let the Helldivers do the terminal.
Do the mission here.
So I've just said to them, I've just pinged, and then I told them to go and do the mission.
Someone do the mission.
Yeah, someone do the mission. Alright, so again, once you know a position, once you've done a position, it's almost impossible not to be switching. So I just saw that flare go up. Did you guys see that flare go up? Which means that like I now have to coax my team away from the terminal to come over and play shot caller.
Calling down
Alright, boys, we got a flare up. Make sure you get your disposable cannons, your launchers down, and get ready to knock out the dropships, boys. It's some.
And the thing that's most frustrating, is like, by the time I've said that, it's too late. Like, this is why you need people who hear and see. It has that distinctive sound to it, like, chung. Okay, like, once you recognize that sound, you need to already be typing in your drop to be able to get your AT. So that's how much you must hear it and drop it, find it, and then as soon as those launchers hit the ground, you need to be putting them on your back. You need to be pressing, your secondary weapon, your larger weapon, pulling out your launcher and preparing to fire on the engine. It doesn't even matter if you're being like fired on by a bot. You need to prioritize the dropship. Even if you die, it doesn't matter. You have to drop the dropship.
Much easier when there's no dropships.
And the thing is, the spear won't knock it down. It'll just hit it in the middle. Okay, so he dropped one, and then immediately he dropped a whole bunch of things, but it's not enough because they're still coming. So here is a really good example of where once a Hulk picks up speed and comes towards you, you cannot lock onto it.
Heavy east, 50 meters.
Okay, boys, if you got a launcher, I need help. There's a heavy here.
So you can see it's not locked on. It's coming towards us too quickly. And this is why the thermite grenades are great, because at least you can damage him. But I mean, my teammate came over to help, and he was killed immediately. And so this is why you must know when you cannot like stop something. You have to fall back, or fall back and flank.
Heavy's coming up. Boys, you might have to run away.
So I immediately flank. And
3 dropships behind us.
Roger.
So we just got dropped on again. Nobody's really taking any notice.
Orbital inbound.
Yep, good move. Ow.
So again, you can see my team is all over the place. So I end up going to the objective.
I got the terminal.
Nobody's. But this is normal. Like I said, this is public, guys. So sometimes you will have to break, and it's why I put it in the footage too. I think it's really important for you to understand that like you'll be overwatching, but there will be times where you're gonna have to use that light armor and just sprint into position, set off the terminal, and you can hear like as soon as like the terminal is running, if you look, my team is coming towards me. Can you see how the team has run towards the terminal now that they can hear the terminal? But for a long time they were all facing the wrong way. So this is something that you have to prepare yourself as Overwatch, is to drop your role for like a couple of minutes so that you can get the team moving, because some people are just dreaming.
Enemy patrol, southeast.
Roger, let's hit that patrol.
Yep. Okay.
It's a good amount of samplings. Yep, run away from those dropships if you can, bro.
So again, you can hear that I'm just, I'm trying to drag the team away from that location. There's only one person there. Again, it happens all the time. But the best thing you can do for that person is to throw down some protection. So if they are running away, at least you can put down a turret to deal with anything that's following them.
Come south to us.
So I think I drop it here. Because even though, like, again, you're moving, you're still Overwatch, which means that you need to put something to stop the bots from continuing to follow you. Again, elevation, stuff like that, but we're moving, so, you know, you can still create a little bit of a distraction so you can keep moving by throwing down a turret and moving. I'm wearing, like, I got the buff where they can't see you, so I'm okay, but, you know, then my autocannon just kicks in, deals with that, and we can move then without any harassment.
I'm on it.
So here's another example of finding an elevated position and scanning for targets of opportunity. So I think this is a good example also is when it could be a great spear tip, but hopefully you're not as retarded as I am. So one of my problems is I always forget to reload my spear and then I try to lock targets. So you'll see here. And if you look, I just move my...
Objective
And you can see there that it's not loaded, and I haven't checked, so I'm struggling to find targets, and then I realize, and then I reload. So like when you start using the spear, the one thing you learn pretty quick is that sometimes if you're lucky, you can destroy these radio you can destroy these towers. What are they? They block the signal thing. But sometimes there is that's a terrible arrow. But sometimes there's a factory on the side of them, and if you hit it, if you're lucky, it'll blow up. Maybe it doesn't work exactly for this type of tower, but some of them you can destroy the installation here by destroying the factory at the bottom. And of course, a spear will lock onto it quite easily. I think I do have a bit of an issue here, and I think this is why I left this footage in, because I wanted you to see that even someone who has as many hours as I have on a spear, you can have issues. Alright, so it did a pretty good explosion there, but I don't think it killed the tower, just in case you do try that. Again, guys, we're straight back into our Overwatch. We saw a lot of this in the first part, but I want to show you how you can drop a turret in the best place and it could open fire and then from multiple directions can get destroyed. Now, I can't remember if this gets destroyed, but I want you to keep that in mind, is that turrets are not as effective against bots than they are against bugs. However, like, don't discount them just because you think they're going to go down straight away. They're not. These things are great force multipliers against bots, and sometimes they can draw fire and allow you to take cover and return fire on the bugs rather than getting rocketed to death while you're trying to take cover. So sometimes I forgot about that. So this might be an example of where, like, it just gets destroyed immediately. So it looks like it's getting at least a little bit of fire on. I noticed that was a walker, so I didn't bother shooting it. But, okay. So maybe it did make it through. I think I'm still trying to find, like, something to blow that tower up. Again, targets of opportunity, guys. There's something down there. You can see how here, even when I was prone then, I couldn't lock on. Okay, and the thing is, it's so far away. Like, if you had binos, you could pull out binos and it will tell you exactly why it can't lock on. But when you're this far away, it can be really frustrating because you're like, oh man, this thing is garbage. It can't lock on. I can't lock on. Like, I have elevation. I have all these things that a, Overwatch person, player should have. That sounds like I play Overwatch. An Overwatch position should have, and yet I can't lock my spear. And what I always say to this is, guys, if you can't lock after like the third or fourth bounce, move. Shift your position. So here, look, that was so close, but it bounced. The lock bounced. So the best thing to do is to get up and move. Okay, so now we've shifted. Again, check your lock. Keep checking lock. Got lock, fired. Like, people who keep telling me that this is broken, I don't get it. I don't understand how you keep telling me that this is the shittest weapon. I mean, it does take a while for you to be able to understand how the lock works. And again, guys, you know, because I play shot caller, you see that. You can see straight away that there's a problem.
Requesting sentry.
Can you see that? Watch now. There, can you see it? Okay, so it's at this point when you play shot caller that you need to react. Then it becomes the shot caller's job to start, you know, taking command. And again, I can't hear anything coming down. Here's another great example of like when a heavy is running at you, you're not going to be able to get a lock with the spear.
Never mind. Boss.
It's moving too quickly towards you, so leave. Thermite grenade in the face. Oh, that one missed. But...
Heavy incoming, boys.
So tell your squad and you keep moving. Alright guys, I hope that was helpful. Again, I just wanted you to be able to see that you do have to change the way you're playing with the bots. That you are extremely vulnerable as Overwatch, and that I wanted to give you a slight hint towards the better position, and I will be making that video very soon. Hopefully the video is popping up right now on the screen, but if it's not, it means that you're an early adopter to like roles on Helldiver, and I haven't made the video yet. But if it's there, click on it, okay, and become probably the most important person when you are fighting the automatons. Guys, hit that like. If you want to subscribe. You know, it will allow you to keep up with all the positions that I'm making, but I definitely want you to like this because it tells me that this is informative and that you enjoy it. All right, I'll see you in the shot caller video.